Laundromats. I actually own one in a very weird way, much longer story. But we own, a partner and I own some of the real estate, and we also own some of the business as well. And they print cash. It's crazy. So what is the opportunity, you think, from a laundromat, and kind of how could somebody go from I own no businesses to getting in this game?
Yeah, it's funny. I wrote about that on Twitter and it kind of went a little viral. And then everybody's like, "So what do you do for a living? You just own laundromats?" And it's like, "Oh, no. That's one of the things I own." But the reason I talk so much about laundromats is because it's accessible. When I go start talking about buying businesses, most people are like, "Must be nice privilege." And it's like, wait a second. The reason that I talk about buying businesses is because it has actually been only done by PE firms for so long. And so we've got to start with a business that is not so intimidating. And a laundromat, it's like you have a space you lease, you have machines that you utilize, people put in quarters, and you print money on the other side of it. You got to clean up the place a little bit. You've got to have somebody do some maintenance on the machines, but it's really not a lot more than that. And so I like to talk about laundromats because, like you said, they cash flow beautifully. The price for them, probably it's worth a little bit more now because I've been spouting off about it for a while, but is usually 2 to 3x the profit. So when you go to buy a laundromat, if a laundromat makes $100,000 a year, you can typically buy them for $200,000 or $300,000. And if people are like, also sounds great, I don't have 300K lying around, they don't realize there's something called the SBA. And the SBA, the Small Business Association, will give you a loan for 90% of the purchase price of a business that has books that they can track and confirm the profits from. And so just like you could go out and buy a mortgage and put 10% down, you could do that on a business. If you were to go and buy a house right now, a single family with a mortgage, and try to cash flow it, the average single family makes about $464 a month. $464 a month is what you make from putting down hundreds of thousands of dollars. In a laundromat, I'm making 5, 10K a month. It's a totally different game.
Yeah, it's incredible. Mailbox Money, which is a great name, but what is Mailbox Money? How can you do it?
Yeah, you need to have her on. She's a riot. So a friend of mine, Lisa Song Sutton, is similar to me. We have this idea of buying boring businesses, holding them forever. And I think it's that immigrant hustle. She's like first gen Korean. But essentially what it is so I was looking at the self-storage space. Lots of people are. I think we're both friends with Nick Huber, Sweaty Startup. I was like, this looks interesting. It's a way to get into real estate, but with a higher return on that monthly cash flow we talked about. Because I'm always like, show me the cash. I want to see it every month. But the thing with self-storage is now you got everybody and their brother in that space. And it's become overhyped and expensive for the most part, in my opinion. And so I was like, so how can we do this cheaper? And I was talking to Lisa, and she's like, I own this mail center. So you know how you got to ship out a package. You don't always go to FedEx or UPS. You could go to like Codie's shipping center up the street or something, right? So I always thought those businesses were kind of interesting because the packages, and maybe they make a bunch of money sending back and forth and all the tchotchkes in the store. Wrong. They're real estate businesses. They're mini mailbox real estate businesses. So you charge anywhere from $20 to $30 to $40 to $50 a month for a little PO box. And the key is UPS knows that this is the game. So they mandate that you can only have like 100 mailboxes in a UPS franchise. I hate franchises, by the way. So I'd never buy a UPS. But if you own your own store, you could cram 200, 300, 500, 1,000 mini little PO mailboxes in there. And every single one, you're making $20 to $30 a month. Lisa's mailboxes sell out within 6 months because everybody and their brother's doing what we're doing, right? We got LLCs, we got things we need to send. We're starting our side hustles. And so the business is booming, but there are not enough mailboxes. That's Mailbox Money.
And so when you think about that business specifically, is it something where it's people in a local area, they come into the physical location, they like get their mail out of a PO box? Or is there like a digital component where then somebody's going into the PO box at the business and like taking a photo of the mail and then people can access it online? Like how kind of digitally native or digitally up the curve are these types of businesses versus literally just, we have a mailbox, you rent it from us, come in, get the mail whenever you want and like leave us alone?
Yeah, most of them are the latter. So digitally native is not normal in small business at all, as you know. That's the opportunity, I think. So most of these businesses, and Lisa's too, they don't offer digital services. It is completely, you go in, you check the mail, that's it. And so that would be 90% of them. The cool opportunity, I think, on top of this is you buy a business like this, you buy a pack and ship center, you input immediately those another 100 to 200 mailboxes. So you've increased your revenue by a few $1,000 a month with a couple mailboxes that cost you a couple $100 to buy. And then on top of it, maybe you do offer that service, especially in a place like Miami, where people are having, potentially 2 locations. They're going back and forth between New York, and they just want to make sure that their mail isn't piling up. You could have a scanning service in that and charge it a premium. Then you might be able to charge $100 a month for a service like that. So I think those are interesting, but most people don't do that.
When you think about buying real estate at auction, how does that work?
Yeah. So my friend Erin Amuchastegui is amazing at this. What I try to do, and I think what people should think about doing if they're going to get multiple income streams, you can't be an expert at everything. If I want to go and really understand crypto and Bitcoin, I would have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours. Or instead, I could follow somebody like you, and I am a subscriber to your newsletter. And every single day I could learn a little bit more about the asset class, and I could invest alongside you in deals, or I could give you money in deals. And so that's typically what I do with all these asset classes. I'm like, all right, Lisa, I'm going to invest in your business over here in Mailbox Money. Erin Amuchastegui, I want to go with you, and I want you to teach me how to buy real estate at auction. This is so cool. This guy came from nothing. He has no formal college degree, super blue collar, and he was doing what everybody does in real estate, which is just selling houses back and forth. He flipped a few houses, and then he found out about this thing called real estate foreclosure auctions. And he's located in the state of Texas, where they have they sell houses on the courthouse steps. So every single month, they release a listing of all the houses that are going up for foreclosure. And with that listing, you can comb through it and prepare to go on the courthouse steps and bid on these houses. The amazing part is, and even in a market like this today, you are able to buy houses for, let's call it, anywhere from 30 to 50% discount to the market rate. You can get actually a higher discount if you go and knock on the individual doors themselves to actually buy properties. And so Aaron has this whole thing where, he's now worth tens of millions of dollars. He's bought thousands of these houses. He now keeps about 250 houses or so as rentals to cash flow. And he bought them all on the courthouse steps. There's obviously particulars with this, like you need to do a little bit of research if you're going to do something like this. He has a book on it. I think the book's basically free. He just does it to be a nice guy. And then what I love about this business too, and this is what I talk to more business owners about doing, he owns this real estate foreclosure business, right? So he's out there buying houses at auction, and anybody can show up to these auctions. It's totally free. So you can just go and check it out. I've gone with him. It's really cool. But then on top of it, he was like, how else could I add value to this main business? And he was like, well, what if I took a SaaS company that lists all of the houses that are for sale right now, that's a subscription-based business that people like him buy. What if I bought that business? And then I put some money into it and then had that business grow even bigger. So he bought his first SaaS company. And then he's like, and then what if I bought the company that goes out and does door knocking to try to buy businesses beforehand, and it has a SaaS subscription model to it too, geolocation and stuff like that. And then he bought that company. So those are called roll-ups, and I get really excited about that in any industry, ancillary service roll-ups, because you can add one company to your already existing company. And that's the only time, I know people these days like to say math isn't real, but that's the only time that 1 + 1 actually could equal 3 or 5 with strategic M&A.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching that clip of The Best Business Show. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you know when we go live every weekday, and then head to SoFi.com/pomp so that you can get an account and we can get after it.